Now, as you all stand on the deck of this ship, as the ground itself twists far, far below the water, a maelstrom twists and the boat finds itself caught. That crack that has opened up above the town. Why don't y'all give me a knowledge base check? You spellcasters, you know which one you're going to lay down on, and random bullshit go most assuredly applies to a gigantic random crack forming in the air above the town. But any knowledge check that you want to defend. Oh, sorry, what's up?
Did you say it's a sky portal? Can I roll my Marvel lore skills, please?
Oh, goodness. Not quite so high. Pretty much where that windmill was.
I assume Arcana will be okay.
Oh, God, yeah. The ideal skill check would be Arcana. You're like, random burst of magic in the middle of a town like we've never seen. Well, all my education tells me. A character gets a slight sinking feeling in the pit of her stomach. Phoenix would be staring at it in awe, and wonder. I put those two words together and got wah.
You played too much of Mario RPG.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Either that or they've just summoned a 40k style orc invasion.
Devaxian as well,
yeah.
straight on. Orc style. God damn.
Okay, something weird's going on because that hasn't popped up in my chat window.
I'm showing you've got a total of a 13. You might need to tap F5 and give it a quick reload. You might just be bogged out or something.
Yeah, weird. Oh dear.
And Jameson, if you wanted to roll one for Deacon.
I was trying to see what everybody's rolls were, and I'm like, what?
I don't know what kind of knowledge check I'd roll for him. He's not very... I gave him a decent intelligence score, but he's not very smart.
For the most part, it's going to be an Arcana check, unless you can basically defend another form of knowledge. Your character is very much building, so, that's fair. There's not much that jumps in on yours for that one. Many other things have come up, but on that one, squeaky, squeaky pass. So, as the rest of the team is looking on, as you see this beautiful display of fireworks above the town, Nestri can sense herself falling back a little bit. Maybe a slight pit in your character's stomach. You've seen this exact magical crunching effect one time before, when you thought you had allies that you were making. But unfortunately, the world changed drastically. You remember, after all, when you met the Lich, right? Same thing. It's the same magics tearing and destroying at the very land. There's no saving what's near to that right now. That whole town, by the look of things, by the size of it, since you rolled high enough on your check, you can tell the radius of what's about to pop is going to nuke that whole town no different than what happened to the Lich and his whole castle area.
That's not good. Is our caravan going to be safe? Are they at a safe distance?
You're doing the mental math in your character's head. You're just trying to figure it out. You're like, okay, A over to B squared by the pi r radius of the shoot. I'm not sure. At the very least, you hope. But, as you know, there may be some small blessing that this xenophobic town did not allow your caravan inside. They were parked away. If they have any chance of being gone, well, they have the best chance. Except maybe the son. After all, he was in town. And what of your poor ally? After all, John's character, Ulag, because I had to double check the exact spelling to make sure I didn't call him Uligi or something. Ulag, he was somewhere, but now we don't know where. And of course, anybody who's actually paying attention is like, the Dungeon Master would not nuke my character if I was not there. I am safe, but
I don't know. I remember I was at a concert one time and then I saw something pop up in the Discord. It's like, yeah, and then the druid almost died.
Oh, goodness. He comes close sometimes, but almost. You walk into there bloody and bruised, like, how did I survive this? And the dungeon master's like, I was in control. You kill a player when they're not there, it has to be a really good reason. Like, they left off last week at the edge of a volcano, and the week that comes, you just tell the player, everybody gone. The player would be like, that is fair. That's, like, the only scenario I could think of off the top of my head. But Nestri now has this knowledge. Are you sharing it with the rest of the team?
Yeah, I'll start with Phoenix because he's right beside me, and tell him really quick in a hushed voice, and then I'll run over and tell the vaccine. If I can, yes. Oh God, I didn't mean to do that. So sorry.
Do what now? Oh, did you launch yourself?
Oh no, I didn't. Well,
Oh,
not
other
really.
Nestri.
I have my other token.
Let me see. I'll just nuke that one off. It's a nice little display for the map, but this way you won't get the stuff going on there. As Nestri leans over in hushed tones, passing the information from party member to party member, like, the whole town's gonna go bye-bye. Or, you know, not even remotely like that. But to give the summary, give me a perception check for Nestri as you're passing that last piece of info to the vaccine.
I don't hear shit.
Oh no. As you're passing that info, as you're pressing it on, like, rubber baby bunkers, pass it on. You know what I mean? You wouldn't have noticed as the captain heard, taking a few steps as they turned towards the group, hand coming to rest on a scimitar at their side. In a few steps, Nestri would be having a large shadow looming behind herself before she had the chance to even see it coming, as the captain rears his head and says, "You lot." As it appears, the jig is up. Let's go ahead and switch up the map. And you know what that means? We get to start today's session with the best kind of roll.
Oh no.
Initiative. Everyone feel free to roll.
Fuck.
Right. Oh boy.
As you find yourself on the edge of a whirlpool, the ship itself being pulled and torn in towards the massive maelstrom, thunderclouds.
Are you okay?
Oh.
Sorry, just 1 second.
Are you okay? So it's either Dean or Ferguson. Hopefully, they're both
I think
okay.
it's the dog.
Oh goodness! No, the dog was just a throwaway.
Yeah, no,
I figured it was you.
He's fine. He was running around the house with his thing in his mouth, and I was worried it was stuck, but he's just being an idiot.
Oh goodness!
Come here. Come here.
No, he's just laying down. He's fine. He's not been able to go to daycare, so he's been a real nightmare because he's not been getting a run around.
Very fair.
He's got a big disgusting wart in his mouth.
Oh god, that's not going to keep him any form of happy.
No. Or us.
Well, I've got good news for the team at least. As you're standing on this ship, because you notice I switched the map, and if this map is running bad for anyone, let me know. It's a fully animated maelstrom I have in the background on the map, as a Fear video, plus a whole bunch of overlays of special effects. Is running bad for anybody, or are we smooth all across the board?
Seems fine, yeah.
The
Yeah, I
map
think we
is looking good. The initiative order isn't.
No.
Oh god.
It's so bad.
many.
So many pirates still on board. This ship, as it rocks, twists, and turns across the maelstrom. Apparently Addison does not like the idea of being seasick. We all heard that. She said no. So, with this initiative order on, as Jameson has pointed out, is not great for the team. As the pirate captain is turning on you, I do have one small small piece of good information. The other pirates have not yet received their standing orders, which means they take no action on their turn, simply holding on as the ship lurches. And as we jump to Devaxian's turn, I'm going to need two things from you. First, I need a reflex save, and then a perception check.
Okay.
As the ship lurches beneath your feet, as it twists, spinning around this maelstrom, like a stone circling the drain.
So 18 on the save.
You stay on your feet. 16 on perception check. Okay, your turn. Surrounded by pirates, with the one captain here.
Okay. Let me look this up.
Alan, just while he's doing that, I have one request, and it could just be me being a baby. But is there any way we could have the flashing? I know it's supposed to be like lightning, but
Yeah, let me turn
it's
that off.
Yeah, sorry. That's the everything else is fine. It's just the flash is really bothering my eyes.
It's cool effect for the first few moments, but if we're going to be staring at this for like half an hour to an hour or longer, yeah, let me turn that off. I get my initial effect. If I wanted to, I could put the creepy lights on like this and darken it, you know.
I don't mind it like that. That's fine. It was just there's the back and forth.
Oh, that's absolutely fine. No one likes a continual flashing for too long. I get my initial run with the thunder and lightning overhead for your characters.
Okay. This might be a little risky. Okay, I'm gonna stride up to the captain. Then I'm going to attempt to intimidate him.
All right.
Okay, please. What did you do? Then I guess if he's frightened, this might affect the DC of this. But then I'm going to.
Essentially, you're pulling the same demoralization that you pulled previously on them. Not much you can do for trying to change much of their attitudes or anything like that, but if you're looking to cause them a little bit of trouble, you can definitely try to demoralize them, I believe, with intimidation.
Well, I'm just looking specifically at the captain, so I got a 24 on my intimidation check for him.
With that one, now let me see, you got a 24 is definitely a success against basically their will save put into a DC. I just had to double check on intimidation to see how that works. This would give them the fear 1 effect.
Yep.
Or frightened 1 effect.
So, I intimidate the captain, then I'm going to attempt to shove him towards the edge of the boat.
Alrighty.
What should be an athletics.
This is really weird. Dean's acing the dice rolls today.
Well, my first few rolls were all below 10, so...
But when you're walking up to the enemy, you're like, I'm going to use my skills on them now. As you give a quick and hard shove to the pirate captain, tossing them 10 feet back. Actually, I have to double check if that's a critical. With you given the negative, it's against their fort. Close, but no cigar.
That's
Very
just
close,
5
in
feet.
fact.
Yep.
Oop.
Cool. And I think the shove action also lets me...
You can do a stride, but in the same distance and in the same direction.
Yeah,
So you can
so
follow.
I'm kind of... I don't want to target myself. Yep, so it's almost like I'm making a move to like hold him over the edge of the boat and like threaten him. But I guess at the very least I've set up a decent flat footing for Deacon if he wants to do anything. But that's all 3 actions.
All right. And as you rush up on the pirate, shocking him, as you shove directly against the pirate captain's chest, they stumble backwards, somewhat feared, but that's enough to gain the attention of the other pirates nearby. However, the bigger question is whether or not they stay on their feet. Well, let's just give this a public roll for these pirates. Not so much for the boss. 15, they managed to stay up, and they're going to move in quickly against your character as they attempt to strike you with their cutlass, because all pirates have a cutlass. It's like a rule or something. And against your armor class of 21, they do manage to connect with their first hit. Their second, however, that's going to be a bit broad, as it most assuredly misses. And as that attack comes down and gives a cut, you lose a whopping 10 points of health from it. As the first pirate has made its move, and our second pirate is going to join in, rushing past. But first it has to do its dex save. Or reflex save. Herp. That one makes it as well with a 16. It's going to run past Nestri. Unfortunately, I don't believe you have the attack of opportunity as a feature, but just in case I mention it. And Dean can probably
I
guess
do not.
how this goes as I keep swinging at him. And with an armor class of 21, he's pretty much standing dancing these attacks. Oh, hang on a second now. They've got you pinned in, so they get a bonus. It didn't
What?
calculate the bonus automatically.
My AC would be 19.
Yep.
Because I'd be flat-footed.
Normally it takes that into account when I have it clicked on you and I click the attack button, but it did not this time. So, it does hit you with one more shot, 7 more points of damage, as I'm really starting to carve up that high level health at this point. After all, they're pirates.
We don't have high level health. We're level 4.
That's high level, right? As the third pirate charges in against you. The same pattern coming up as they swing those blades, stabbing for what they can, as the vaccine does what they can against all that damage, having pulled the attention, or as we'd say in D&D terms, the aggro. But Deacon now has a clean line of sight to the pirate here. Captains to the north, pirates to the south, another to the north. They are jumping Devaxian all together, and you can see the commander, the captain, sort of waving hands like, no, you fools, attack this one and that one. The guy behind me, what is wrong with you? And they all just jump at this one. We got him, sir! Because they're pirates.
You should go for the captain, Deacon, because he'd be flat-footed, and with the fear effect, his AC is going to be like -3.
That was the
Like
plan, so I'm probably just going to move up right behind him, so it'll give us both a bit of a bonus, because we'll be surrounding him.
And the pirate
Yeah.
captain, whose knees were already buckling a little bit as he stands ground like, who do you think you are? As a large shadow looms out behind him, because if I recall your character, 5'11", yep, that's tall enough. Before any of you say anything, I'm 5'11". So he does loom over the pirate captain, okay? Looms with incredible height of 5'11", 100%, huge, gigantic even, basketball superstar height.
I hope I've did enough to get those fighters' numbers a rocking.
Oh goodness. Well,
If he was any taller, he'd have to go to the next size category.
yes, that's a hero point for Dan.
Yay!
So then, for Deacon, how we doing this, Jameson? You've got a nice spot there that you've brought yourself into. Actually, if he shuffles 5 feet, no, that still takes an action. Never mind. That 5-foot action, no attacking me, please. I forgot. Actually takes a full action. So you're lined up on the pirate captain, who's slowly looking back, like, wait, what? There are more of you?
Oh yeah, so what I'm going to do is put my shield into an agile shield grip and do a double slice attack, so I can make 2 attacks without suffering the multi-attack bonus.
And I forgot. You need to give me a dex reflex save and a perception check.
Will do.
I rolled them for everybody else. Got to your turn. It's like, time to kick butt. Oh, yeah. With a 23 on your reflex, you have no trouble standing on this vessel as the waves crash against the side of it.
So, I don't think you'd be able to do a double slice because it's 2 actions. Because if you stride...
Oh yeah,
into
you're
the
right.
Shield grip.
Yep, my bad.
With a 22 on your perception check, your turn.
Alright, so I'll just move over, and I think I'll just attack twice with my fighter's fork then.
All right. Time to use the mighty power of Abracastabia. 16 is a miss, unfortunately, against the pirate captain, who still manages to hold a defense against your attack, as it looks like Dean sucked up all the good rolls.
And I'll go for one last hit.
All right.
Hang on. That attack should be too high, or should it not? Because he's flanking.
Well,
Oh.
it doesn't apply the bonus to the roll. It affects the AC.
Yep, even with an +2 to make that an 18, or the -2 on the AC, still a miss.
And remember, the fear should give him a -1 to AC as well.
Yep.
I-
This
But,
pirate
yeah.
captain does not have the stats of a pirate, I should warn.
Yeah.
They are stronger with a higher armor class. After all, captain.
Yep.
The rest of them, though, pugs. Whatever you figure out for one's going to apply to the rest. But this one, as Deacon soon sees. Because, I mean, come on, it's a 4.
Yeah. This is gonna be
Fair
rough.
enough.
You still got a second swing left, though, so you know. Oh, goodness. The dice are just in a mood. Well, that pirate captain manages to dodge the 2 swings as you attempt to levy them against him. Anything else for Deacon's turn?
No, those are all my actions, so that'll be it.
Alrighty, and as we roll over to the pirate's turn, still gripped by fear until the end of its turn, I believe. It goes down by 1. So those are still
Yeah.
affecting it. However, he's got eyes on Devaxian now as he sets his face into a glare, holds up a blade and says, I'm gonna send you right to Davy Jones's locker. 1, 2, 3 strikes. All 3 levied directly at your character. And with an armor class of 21. You dodge all but 1 of them, only 1 managing to parry through your defenses and strike you for 8 points of damage, still shaving away at your character's health, bringing you ever closer to doom, as we have a number of pirates left yet who can attack. Oh goodness. I mean, this pirate's trying. You can see down here that I'm moving this one, but it runs out of space for its movement, so that means it's got to double up. That's lucky. It's real lucky. As it charges in against Deacon. Thankfully, without that penalty to its swings, It
Not
manages
to be
to
that
connect.
asshole, but did the captain roll the saves, or does he not have to?
Oh,
Or
thank you
did
for
I just-
reminding me.
Okay.
He's got to roll a reflex save to see whether or not he falls down.
Okay.
He manages to stay on his feet. Thank you. And I got to roll one for this pirate, too. Oh, God. This pirate looks like they are dancing across the ship. I rolled damn near max on that. They've charged in, and they've struck Deacon. Fortunately, I can't roll much worse than that. So, our mechanical friend, even though, well, I don't know if maybe cybernetic. They make it look really cool, whatever it is. But I'm used to cogwheels, you know me. I like my old clockwork shit. Deacon takes a whopping 6 points of damage from that pirate hit. And we got one more pirate who's going to take advantage of being able to go through an ally space to run up and around to attack Deacon as well. Dean's probably wiping the sweat off his brow as the vaccine gets the dodge on that shot because, you know, it's not entirely fair for them to charge up on one. But they are pirates. They don't fight fair. Oh my god, I rolled a 2. Well, just standing there as shots are ricocheting off your character like there's no tomorrow, just one after another as the pirates bomb in, but not a single shot hits Deacon on the second run. Nestry up next. And I'm going to need a dex save and a perception check.
Yep. Gotcha.
Which reminds me, I didn't do one. I'm not sure if I remember if I did one for the other guy, so...
Can I just say
Oh, God,
that
I-
my perception's only +6? So, like, can I even beat the DC? I don't mind rolling it, I'm just wondering.
Well, what's the
'Cause
highest
there's
one we
like,
got
I've
on the
seen
board?
I saw 22 and that didn't yield anything. And a
Nope.
20, no, reflex.
Nobody's broken the super high 25, I don't think, yet. You know, for the standard numbers. You can always try, but I definitely need the reflex save from you.
Yeah, no, I know, I was just trying to remember where it was at.
Nestry manages to keep her balance as the ship rocks back and forth in the waves. But Julian's like, can I even see shit? Let's be honest here. I got a +6. What am I going to do with a +6? Well, you could roll a 20, couldn't you?
That.
Because beyond that, only other thing that came close was a 25. But I like my odd numbers, and I had to just double check because I think, Dean, you got 25 on your check with your character.
Can't remember.
But 26, because I like odd numbers. Because it's easy to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
I got 20. I got 16. So I was way
Oh,
off.
never mind. I thought someone had a 25 before this. I can't even remember. But I like my odd numbers.
Oh,
Next-
he got a 25 on initiative perception.
Oh,
Maybe that's what you saw.
Ah, perfect. Well, but unfortunately for Nestry, at the eye of this maelstrom inside this area, you see for a brief moment something very large beneath the waves. You can't make it out, but there's something there.
He. Okay. Oh, God. Alright, I'm gonna.
That's I'm rolling that 20, by the way.
I'm just gonna attack, and with my action, hopefully, shout out that something Bucky's going on. I'm gonna attack the one. Should I try? All of them are unharmed. Great. I'll just attack one of the ones that's flanking the Vaxian. Yeah, I'll use a spell strike.
All right, shooting for the one closest to you.
Oh, nice.
Lillian, lay off the fire.
Yeah, I will actually use fire and do that.
Also, just because you said it, I'm throwing this in the pictures.
Oh, wait. I do a d10 on... On
The-
deadly, just 1 second. I haven't rolled a crit.
Oh,
a
tap the
lot
crit
here,
button.
just-
Should get it for you.
It rolled a d6, but it says deadly d10.
Does it not do the crit? Let me see here. Yeah, redo with just tap the critical button to redo that one. It should bring it all together
I
for
did.
you.
Oh no, I didn't. I hit critical. I didn't hit damage. Sorry. Fuck's sake.
The dice are
Okay.
determined.
Well, I'll still roll a d4, I believe, of my fire damage. I think it's a d4. Let me double check. Would it be 2d4? Like, do I get double that die too if I was using spell strike?
Let me double check. Yeah, that does crit. I googled it and it's right on the first time. Yes, the spell does crit.
You would double your damage. You wouldn't double the dice for the magical damage.
Oh, I see.
2 points. Ouch. The dice are in a mood. Enough to shave them off and make them look injured to your strike, though still standing.
Yeah, I'll just do the second with the penalty.
Alright. 17, unfortunate. What? No, that's... Wait. How does flanking work? No, I don't think flanking works on ranged in this, does it?
No. Well, no, flanking doesn't work on ranged. But
To melee attacks, yep.
if you were to make, like, say I made that guy off guard somehow, then he would still get the -2. But
Yep.
only if, like, he had like a status effect that imposed it.
It'll have flat-footed for anything flanking it in melee. So unfortunately, no bonuses for the swing. I was basically seeing if we could nudge that to a hit. The captain, a little harder to nudge to a hit because, you know, they're tough. Also, it didn't take their fear effect off. It looked like they removed some of the automation with this update. Makes me a little sad because they're no longer under fear effect. But yes, that is unfortunately a miss. Anything else for Nestri's turn?
No. So is it... Okay, can you guys just explain crit to me here in Pathfinder? Because it's just because I have deadly, I add a d10. There's no doubling of the...
The damage dice for your d6 is doubled, so that gave you 4.
Right, and then I get an
yeah.
additional d10.
Yep.
Gotcha, okay.
Because you'll see
Sorry.
the 2 times 1d6 plus the d10.
Yeah.
A good example of deadly that goes nuts is when I hit Jameson the other week and I maxed on the damage roll and I didn't see it had deadly. I admitted that and I was like, here's a little something, something, get back on your feet. Because, you know, deadly is deadly. I also rolled like max on the dice. It was sick. It's nice to see deadly kick in, though. Not so much when the dice aren't in your favor, though. A 2 and a 2. Goddamn system. Be kind.
I just don't... Anyway, I'll shout with my last bit of energy. I'm gonna shout, we're all gonna die if we don't stop fighting. This is stupid. And that's it.
Of course, you know, the captain is bringing up the blade saying, then we live together in David Jones's locker. However, the one smart pirate's running back up to the deck as you hear them muttering something along the lines of, let go of the steering wheel, idiots, what the hell? Dan, your turn. One pirate has grabbed onto the steering wheel. In an attempt to try to hold the vessel, I will need from you a reflex save, which I'm also rolling for said pirate as well, but where that's the only thing they're doing, they'd have the action economy. No, they got an 18. Looks like Destiny says not to being nice to everybody. Given the dice rolls, you know that reflex save isn't that high. Yet. Well, as the boat twists and rocks, your character loses their balance and you end up landing on your back. In this one, it's just an action to stand up, a single action, mind you, but you are now prone.
Yeah, I'll stand up.
All right. One action to stand up, you are back on your feet. And surrounded by pirates.
Now, here's an important question I've been forgetting to ask. Have we had a long rest since the fight in the cave?
I don't think. I think the team hopped a couple short rests on your way through. I can't remember. It's been a bit.
Didn't you say we could have a long rest and
Oh, right, with the
once
level up.
we escaped the when we escaped like the tunnel collapse or whatever,
Yep.
we rested in that tunnel.
Because you had that small fight, then it was a tunnel collapse. So yeah, you should be long rested, Dan.
Okay, I was just asking because it makes a difference on my spellcast, what I have for spells.
All right, and give me a perception check before I forget.
Okay, so when I pop my character sheet out, it doesn't actually send rules in.
Oh, pop-out doesn't send them in? Let me see if that's the same for me.
Like, I'll click the buttons to send the roll, and then nothing more.
Oh,
But when
wow.
it's part of the screen, it'll do a pop-up where I can do the modifiers and stuff.
Well, that's a little bit annoying. I like pop-up. It's so nice.
Yeah, I think both Foundry updated recently and the Pathfinder game system did. So things must have gotten wonky.
All right. So, Dan, your turn. And hopefully they get that pop-up fixed.
Yeah, because I like to put that on the other screen so that I can... Okay, and I'm going to hit the long rest button just so that all my spells come back.
Oh, yeah. Oop. I was moving my mouse trying to move the screen, and I just tossed Deacon into the ocean. That wouldn't be very polite.
Ah.
Holy wow. Well, can't believe that's legit, but we'll find that out in a couple turns. Forget I said holy wow out loud. I should have muted myself. You know when the DM's rolling some dice behind the map and they just go, oh, that just happened. That hasn't happened in a while.
What just happened?
You'll find out. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Oh, I do worry.
Everyone's worried. Everyone panic.
Panic like no tomorrow. I'm going to support.
All right. Forbidding ward. Oh God, I messed up ward. Ward.
I will target the pirate captain and Devaxian.
Apparently you targeted me. I'm forbidden from speaking properly. All right, so the pirate captain versus Devaxian. Devaxian getting a nice ward on there against them, giving you a +1 status bonus, which is always lovely. Anything else for your character? Because that's 2 of your actions. All right, you stood up. My
And
bad.
one for standing up, yeah.
Alrighty. As your turn comes to an end, another one of our lovely pirates is up next, the one who hasn't taken a turn yet. And when they see Nestri firing off a blast, you see them point towards you. And they just charge in against your character, moving quickly to pin you between themselves. Oh, but first, a dex save to see, or reflex save to see whether they can stay on their feet. As they fall flat on their face, then use an ability to stand up and charge in against you. Now only able to take 1 swing due to the lovely action economy. As you take a grand miss, as they swing horribly, stumbling on their feet, unable to regain that important balance. as the Vaxians turns up next, as the ship lurches harder. Give me a reflex save and a perception check.
Okay.
24 on your reflex is enough to stay on your feet. 26 on your perception check is enough to notice a new critical fact. DC was higher on previous turns for this one. If you think something in the water was the only thing to be worried about, you also notice something very strange. This ship, that has been quite literally circling the drain, is slowing down.
How do we take a long rest again?
On your character sheet, left-hand side, below your max HP, there's a bed-looking...
Bed.
Oh, the bed, right. Sorry, I also didn't have a long rest, so just making sure I had it.
Up till now, the team's been tiptoeing through an area, quite literally. So, you know, the long rest wasn't as imperative to have noted, but we got it on there. Enjoy that level 4 power-up. So...
I guess the vaccine will... Why are we slowing down in a maelstrom? I guess in that odd way of just noticing something and talking to himself. What to do though? Because my weapon is... I don't think my weapon would have been out because I was pretending to work a cannon. So I could stay. I can't stay here. As the thing. Think that is Deacon's there. Wow. So,
I left Dean with a head scratcher.
I think I'm going to step here.
You using movement for that, or are you using that little action to pop out?
I'm using step instead of strides.
Alright.
Well,
Note.
Step doesn't trigger attacks of opportunity. I'm not.
You
I
see
know
this
we've fought
pirate snap their fingers once. They're like, damn it!
Okay, so they do. That's good to know. Then I'll step again this way. Then
Slide to the left. 2 hops this time.
so I'll need to go here.
Crisscross.
There's the crisscross.
So that would be 5, 10. Try.
Well, you can go through an ally space. Well, I suppose the enemy's there, so you'd be triggering them a second time.
Yeah. So I'm going to run. They can move for enemies. I will stand next to Nestry to stop her from getting swarmed if they move up towards us, and that will be all 3 actions. I think that's a slightly better place to be. So, yep, that's all 3 actions anyway.
So you got yourself in a nice comfy spot there. Oh, what's this? I'm getting an alert on Discord about audio. Forget that, it's being weird. Also, I see it's got the wrong voice set up here. There we go. Make sure everything's working nice and hunky-dory. So you got yourself to a nice comfy spot. No one can take a swing at you because you got it privately. However, eyes are now turning on poor Deacon and Phoenix, as our pirates' turns come up next. As for this pirate in the corner, it's going to charge up beside Phoenix so it can get in nice and close. The vaccine probably wiping the sweat off their brow for a brief moment as it charges in close with 2 fast swings of its blade. One is a miss. However, the second shot tears through your character's defenses brutally. It's a critical, without shadow of a doubt, as you are hit for a whopping 22 points of damage. Which is a rough time. Following up on that, we've got 2 more pirates moving into close range. Next one's going on the top with its same attacks. These ones coming after Phoenix yet again, as he's probably thinking, oh no. Oh goodness.
Did they roll the reflex saves?
Ah, yes, thanks for reminding me on that. There passes. At least this time, Phoenix only takes 6 points of damage. And as for our third and final pirate, who rolls this check as well, they have also passed. This one, however, is attacking Deacon. With all 3 hits, they don't have to move. And against an armor class of a whopping 22, as that pirate attacks in, I have nothing but misses. Deacon's turn up next.
Okay. Hopefully this time I hit him. So now I'm going to do the agile shield grip and the double slice attack. Let's see if it works. Oh god. Do those 2 hit?
Whoop, did not realize I was on mute for a second there. Both of those are hits against the pirate captain. You go ahead and roll up your damage.
Alright. And that'll be my turn.
And you cut into the pirate captain repeatedly, 2 hard shots, as you decimate their health. And as your turn comes to an end, our pirate captain's turn is up next. Kiddo came over for a quick hello, so I just gave her a quick hug. You know how it is. And as the pirate captain turns towards Deacon, they get a snarl on their face as they casually add in, "What you lot think you're doing jumping on my ship causing me problems? I had this town in the palm of my hand. I'm gonna send you to Davy Jones's locker." As they go to bring up a foot, as Deacon can only imagine, they're about to attempt to shove you overboard. And with the team beginning to feel their injuries and feel what's coming, that might not be what's catching the attention of the other 3 party members. Oh no, not at all. Whether it's the large pieces of flesh that seem to rise up from the ocean, catching onto various pieces of this vessel, or the large monstrosity that rises up from the center of the water. The ship itself is quickly overtaken as you see tentacles reaching up, wrapping around various parts of the main deck, pulling down on the ship, weighing against it. The monstrous hands, like something straight out of your worst nightmares. And while the captain continues to berate you, you can't help but notice slithering just under your character's reach, a tentacle coming up, wrapping itself around his foot by the power of thematic plot, as he's flicked and swung off of the boat as something far more horrifying rises up from the center of the maelstrom.
Oh god.
The ship, it seems, is under attack from a beast of such colossal size that as it roars, the very ocean begins to tremble, and the pirate captain similarly roars as he is quickly ripped off of the ship into the ocean. Whoop. And as for our remaining pirates, well, at that point you'd hear them screaming, charging forward as one starts to attack the tentacle beside it. Same for the other, no longer looking at the party in any way whatsoever. Though I'm just going to adjust your heights to be 1 foot up for everyone so that you'll show up above those tentacles for markers. Makes your life a little easier.
So, Alan,
Yo.
remember when we played a level 20 campaign and it was a lot of fun?
Yeah.
Do you remember when it ended and we started again at level 1?
Yeah.
And now we're only level 4? Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
Oh.
Do you remember how that happened?
I may have forgotten.
It seems like you might have.
My bad. Anyway, here's a Kraken.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Merry
Thanks.
Christmas.
Thanks, I hate it.
It's a shame all the powder's wet.
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Well, a couple of the cannons up on top deck were okay, after all.
That's true.
Well, it's presently Nestry's turn, as the pirates seem to be losing interest in you, but this vessel is quickly being wrapped up by the Kraken, who, with a defiant roar, draws ever so closer. So, Jillian, what you doing on your turn? Besides giving me a reflex save.
Gillian, you're muted.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize it was my turn straight away. I was distracted by the panic.
Yeah, he killed the pirates, captains, and the other 2 pirates are fighting against the tentacles now.
Yeah, so, and I assume, as a passive insight, that we couldn't go anywhere right now anyway, even if I did miraculously get to the steering wheel.
You've got one pirate holding that steering wheel with everything they've got. The ship twisting in a maelstrom as it turns around, shaking beneath your feet. Behind you, a cataclysm overtaking the town, and in front of you, a cataclysm in the waters.
Mm-hmm.
Probably can't go anywhere now, not easily, unless you can get to shore, but that's about 300 feet away.
Oh my god almighty. Okay,
Before you
so what
think
I
it
was
couldn't
gonna
get
do...
worse, it will.
What I was gonna do on my previous turn was I was gonna use hydraulic push to push one of the pirates back by 5 feet. If I used that on one of the tentacles, would that work? Because it says it affects one creature.
Is there a size limit on that? Because those things are huge. The tentacles themselves basically represent the thematic form of its body, because it's an incredibly large creature. I mean, size category, if we were going by the rules, it'd be smaller. But that's no fun. It's epic. But let me check
The only thing that it says range of 60 feet, targets one creature or unattended object. And then the description is you call forth a powerful blast of pressurized water that bludgeons the target and knocks it back. And then I make a ranged spell attack roll. That's all it says.
Let me check the archives of Nethys just to make sure there's no restrictions, because if that's the case... You imagine a big old giant dragon landing there, or a kraken, and you're like, nah, I'm gonna push you away with water. And it's like, you dare? I am water. But yes, that'll work. From what I see in the rules, even Addison's laughing at that one.
It might be... It's more likely to be there could be something on the kraken's traits that might say that it
Can't
be
push.
moved rather than the spell itself.
I mean, I could just
Addison
go
does
for
not like that.
damage.
Now, as far as it's considered, you can try to make that push. But you see I forgot to put it in. Once we get to the Kraken's turn, I'll show you its initiative.
Okay.
Well, poor Addison.
You alright?
Oh yeah, she's good. She's eating. Cindy says I should have a game where it's not the outcome isn't decided by the roll, but Addison's reactions. It's like, oh my. Jillian just cracks some knuckles like, I have my whole life of training for this.
So, Dean, just to save me some time, when we looked up Spell Strike and Spell Cascade and all that, was the damage the same as long as your stance doesn't break? It deals the damage that the spell would have dealt to a target as long as my stance doesn't break, right?
Yeah,
Is that how
it
you
does-
remember it?
It does weapon damage and spell damage.
So if I used a level 2 spell, for example, then it would do the amount of damage that the level 2 spell does.
As far as I understand it, yep.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna take... oh wait, and one more thing. Do I take a penalty for being within melee of an enemy? For a ranged weapon? I keep getting this rule mixed up with the D&D rule.
No, so making a ranged attack.
Just triggers an attack of opportunity, I think?
Yep.
Right.
And
So could
longbows
I-
have a penalty for close range, but that's
Could I
about
s-
it.
Could I step back as one action?
Yeah, a step would cost you 5, or for 5 feet for a freebie, you can get a free action out of that. Or an action,
Okay.
You know what I mean. One action to take a 5-foot step, or you can stride and move your whole movement.
Right. Where did my character sheet go? Come back, character sheet. There it is. Alright, so... with that one step back, I'm gonna take my spell strike stance, and I'm gonna cast, Sudden Bolt. So, I believe I just make a ranged attack.
Alright.
If I'm doing it correctly. I'm still... This is a really complicated class, you guys. I'm so sorry.
No worries. Addison's cheering it on. She laughed.
Ah, thanks, Addie.
Jillian says thank you, Addison.
Oh no!
That hovered on the 20 as well.
I know. I can't use my hero point. I gotta save it when I go unconscious. Yeah, that's it. I don't think the spell
It's not
is
if.
wasted. Here's what I will say though, as my understanding the way that spell cascade works, as long as I don't break my stance, the spell should still be active on my next turn.
Yeah, I think the only thing you need to do is like an action to
Recharge.
recharge.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. Alright, that's it. I'm not wasting my hero point on that.
Checking your body, specialized form, breathing, special stance, you melee strikes deal 1 extra damage. 2, specialized 3, any strike that benefits from damage gives the arcane trait, making it magical. That's a complicated one, you're right. take a few minutes to start reading, and I'm like, I'll worry about that when it gets triggered, because wowza. I can do some pre-reading, but that's like half book pre-reading right there, Jillian. You did take a complicated class. Goddamn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as your turn rolls to an end, the pirate is going to have to give me a fort save this time, as they're holding onto that steering wheel for dear life against the maelstrom. And with a 15, they've managed just to pass, as they're able to still hold the vessel. And you're thinking, what about their reflex save? Well, you probably don't want the person steering the boat to fall, but they're anchored to the steering wheel, so I'll give them a free pass. But Dan, not you. Give me a reflex save.
Addison, are you?
With that 22, Dan, you got no trouble passing. Your character, Phoenix, is able to stay on their feet this time, no trouble, even as the ship lurches harder.
So the question for the party is, who do I smack?
Dealer's choice, bro.
I mean, yeah, it's hard to say.
I think tentacles is the better idea because it would let the boat stay afloat.
Yeah, I think the pirates have turned their attention on the tentacles. At the very least, if we don't kill the pirates, there's more targets for the tentacles.
True.
Well, first thing, I don't like being this close to the edge, so I'm going to move.
So Phoenix moves to a more accessible position.
I'll go after the bigger hand-looking thing on the left and strike at that.
Alright, you lash out at one of the Kraken's mighty tentacle-like appendages, gripping onto the ship. As you fire your telekinetic projectile, picking up a barrel and just tossing it straight at the enemy with full force. We'll say it has one bulk, even though they are huge. With a 16, it strikes, causing the hand to shudder. You're not sure if it's really doing any damage to a beast of this size, but you've caused that hand to temporarily move back at least, releasing some of its grip on the ship.
Now that's gonna make a huge difference. You want me to roll damage on that?
For that one, no, don't worry about the damage. You get the feeling it may not have cut through, but you pushed it back just by striking at it. If anything, you think that beast is being cautious. Anything else for Phoenix's turn?
No.
Alright. As yours comes to an end, we get the Kraken up next leading the initiative, and you hear Addison's response to that thing's initiative roll. I ain't even cheating, that's actually what it got. Meanwhile, Jillian is saying, Alan, level 4. Level 4. Well, the big bag Kraken twists and turns through the water as it draws ever closer to the ship. Tentacles twisting and pulling closer as we roll over to a pirate's turn next. This one charging forward against one of the hands as it valiantly strikes out against the Kraken, but is unable to land a very strong blow. Devaxian's turn up next. Also, I gotta roll a reflex save. Oh my god, they rolled an nat 20 on the reflex save. Where was that when you swung at the hand? Well, Devaxian's turn now. Oh, and a reflex save as your turn starts, of course. The boat shaking ever so harder under your character's feet.
Okay.
And you're prone.
Right. No. No. Make it. Must be control.
Dean, random question. Is our teacup a 4-cup teacup? Do you remember?
Our teacup?
Or teapot, sorry.
I don't know.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
So if I stand for 1, then I don't think I'll be able to intimidate the Kraken somehow. So
Are you sure?
it's part of me thinks. Right, so this hand's been pushed back. The one at the top here, is that still on the ship?
Yep. Holding onto the mast.
Right, and this guy next to it took a swing at it?
Yep. Failed miserably.
Okay. So I'll stand, and then I guess I'll straight. No, I don't even have my weapon out.
I definitely forgot to draw my weapon. I forgot that was a thing. But I feel like we're in it now, so.
Julian's like, I would normally be worried about a small rules and fractions in these scenarios, but then she points at the crack and she goes, well. He said done.
Does that give Dean the green light to just say he has his weapon out now at this point?
I might let it pass for this one.
Well, I can.
I think I did the same with the
Punch it.
pirates. They didn't have their weapons out, so they didn't have to worry about drawing them. So you know what? The players get a freebie too. They wouldn't have had them drawn.
Okay. Right, in that case, I'll stride up. So, 1 action to stand, 1 to stride, then I'll try and get this hand off the edge of the ship as well.
All right. You charge in beside the pirate who was there, who nods towards you, affirming the alliance between the two. As you strike out, bashing everything you've got into a massive hit as Addison cheers you on. You heard that behind me. She just went, yeah! And you strike that hand, impressively so. Give me a reflex save.
Reflex save.
With a 19, you manage to dodge with a 5-foot step backwards, a jump as it were at the last moment. Sure, the hand comes off before lashing its way forward, grappling at the front of the vessel, talons digging against the wood as it grinds itself back slowly. And you hear the poor pirate screaming as it's dragged along into the briny depths below. Good thing you passed that check. Anything else for Devaxian's turn?
No, that's me used all 3 actions.
Up next then, we've got another one of the pirates. This one's looking around before it screams, looking mad as it does, running to the cannon and grabbing it, pointing it straight at the Kraken, who now looms over the edge of your vessel, leaning in. Tentacled monstrosity of a face, roaring but inches away, as the pirate takes its action to fire the cannon. An explosion of gunpowder later, and the ball strikes directly into the heart of the creature, who leans back before looming heavily over that pirate. Of course, that pirate's looking up and giving it the middle finger, the one crazed and brave pirate. Many of them, in fact, among pirates, unfortunately, have a horrible trait. They are brave by nature, almost as if they have a trait called bravery. Poor pirates, but not this one. This one is going to run and do the unthinkable. They run with a scream and dive into the water, trying to swim their way towards shore. With a simple, and that's it for them. But the other remaining pirate on the boat's going to jump up forward as well, lashing out at the Kraken, as I give them a reflex save to see how they do. I don't think I need a reflex save for the one who ran away, but this poor pirate, flat on their face, still back up on their feet a moment later, charging in with one good strike with the cutlass that they wield, slicing the front against the Kraken, but it seems to have no damaging effect on the beast. The armor class on this thing, far beyond anything a challenge rating of that level pirate is meant to face. Deacon's turn up next.
Okay, Deacon is going to also do the unthinkable and continue attacking this giant monstrosity.
Now you're face to face with the core of its form. Any picture you'll see of a Kraken attacking a ship, they're always traditionally the same sort of design. Gigantic monster, very big tentacles attacking out. You know, like this picture, or any other number of ones you can pull up from the internet. But in this rare situation, the head is very close to you. Go ahead and give me a perception check as you're readying those attacks.
What cannon was fired? I didn't.
The one by the
Is it-
pirate here. Sorry,
Right.
over here, right beside Deacon. I mean, I want to give him a fort save to see if he goes deaf, but with the maelstrom, you'd be deaf now anyway. 14 is a 14. So, your character's turn.
Hooray. Alright, so I'm just going to start off with my double slice attack again. See if I
Alright.
can hit him.
Now, the other party members were hitting extensions of the body. You're going right after an honest-to-goodness Kraken as per stat block in this game. And in this game, the Kraken, they give a really nice picture of a squid. But you know, I like my custom token. So let's see if you can whack the Kraken. Striking into its hardened flesh, you find no damage coming up from your strikes. It's looking very angry at that pirate who hit it with the cannonball, but you just can't breach through its incredible defenses.
Alright, with that being two actions, for my last one, I'm just going to raise my shield and hope.
All right. So you raise up your shield to boost up your defenses as this Kraken looms over the team. And we have another pair of the pirates up next. This pirate as well is going to strike at the Kraken, but luck isn't on their side. So who wants to roll for me 3 d20s as this pirate goes nuts? At this point, my enemy's enemy is my friend, right?
I'll
Jillian.
roll one.
Sweet. I was about to call on you to do it, so you volunteered. You only get one.
I'm just doing one, yeah.
Dan, do you want to roll one? And Jameson, do you want to roll one? Dean me whilst thinking. What about me? It's like, don't worry, next pirate, you're going to be rolling. All right.
Sorry, what was I rolling again?
You're just rolling a d20. I'm going to add the mods onto the pirate to see if it can hit the Kraken standing before you, but a creature of this size, well...
God, the dice hate me.
Well, Dean, why don't you give us a roll of a d20 for the next... Wait, hold on, where's that other pirate? I'm mixing up on what side. This one is fighting the tentacles on the other side. Go ahead and roll some d20s for me. Roll 3 of them.
Okay.
Since you got left
First
out.
one. 17.
17, give me a reflex. But what am I saying, a reflex save? That's his job. Hold on now. With...
Well, I hope it's not the 3.
Well, I got a 26 on his reflex save. That's impressive. Look at that. He manages to dodge the tentacle as it strikes back against him. Second shot, no good. But you got one more attack roll if you want to make it against that tentacle. With an 18 on the board. And that's even with the multi-attack penalty on 3. It'd be enough as those tentacles begin to retreat backwards. The pirate sort of, I say steps forward, but they can't, but they're shaking a hand like, yeah, up yours too, buddy. Nestry's turn up next. Give me a perception check.
Okay. Like, I'm thinking, like, should we try talking to the Kraken? That's stupid, right? Maybe he just really doesn't like pirates.
Meanwhile, the vaccine's like, I should have done my random knowledge, but she'd go.
I don't think Kraken's like anybody.
I
With
know.
an 18 on Nestry's perception check, you notice something very strange indeed. Sure, the ship has been slowing down even more so, but you've also noticed you're about a deck or so up out of the water more than you should be.
So the Kraken's, like, lifting us?
Could
Is that
be.
the conclusion? Okay, I'll share that with the group. And then I will not take any actions to recharge my spells strike. And then I will try another one. I'll just strike at a tentacle for now.
All right. So you go ahead and make an
'Cause
attack roll as you make a blast
don't-
at the tentacle.
I don't know. Oh, wait, I have to do my save, don't I?
Oh, yes, the reflex save. Make sure you stay
Yeah.
on your feet.
Yeah.
The ships are rocking harder, so you know those DCs are going up. You passed, though.
Ooh, okay, that's good. Alright. What's Robert Pearson's please, Dean?
Please.
Okay, perfect, thank you, that's what I needed. Nope, I don't think that's gonna do anything. I am aiming for a tentacle, for what it's worth, but I don't know.
Well, you give a blast to the tentacle. You're not sure what damage it's done. The arrow lodges into it and it stays gripped onto the ship.
Well, there would, if it hits, I don't know. There's an additional amount of damage because I have spell strike up, but should I bother rolling it or no?
Oh, it has to physically connect for damage, not for this one, though.
So, okay, so it didn't connect?
It's just so darn big I'm using thematics, but if 16's a miss.
Okay, sorry, that's just what I needed to hear if it was a hit or miss.
Yep.
That's it. That's
Oh.
my 3 actions.
Alrighty. And as your turn comes to an end, the pirate holding onto the vessel is up next. And I have to roll for them another fort save as they struggle hard. With a 12. They are launched. As the steering wheel, they lose control and they are sent flying. How far, you ask? Oh, goodness. Not very. This pirate gets flipped up and over and lands. Probably hero pose. Then immediately runs back towards the wheel, grabs on, and holds it for another turn. Count yourselves very lucky. A 20 out of nowhere on a reflex save when they should have been launched over the side of the damn boat. Are you kidding me? I got ripped off. It's supposed to get worse, not better. Dan, Phoenix's turn up next. I am going to need a reflex save. $18, you're safe on your feet.
Let's strike at another tentacle.
All right, you go ahead and make that shot. Firing a telekinetic projectile at the tentacle. $23. That one strikes hard against the one still latched onto the ship. And as it hits, that causes it to naturally retreat backwards, releasing some more of the grip on the ship. Anything else for your turn?
Yeah, I'll move forward.
I was just in the bathroom. What happened? I see a
That-
few tentacles are gone.
Dan shot a tentacle. Got a 23 on the attack roll.
Okay.
Good hits all around. I pulled the other ones off if they're not physically visible, you know. They're underwater, so I made them invisible because I kind of forgot.
And that's it for me.
Alrighty. As your turn rolls over to an end, it's the Kraken up next, looming as it does. It brings one of its mighty arms down to bear. Against... oh god. Against the pirate that fired that cannon, as you all may recall. The Kraken leans forward and screams as one of its mighty arms slings down and sledgehammers the enemy. And just for... I rolled crit on this.
That will be that pirate gone, most likely.
Uh-huh. That's almost triple-digit damage. I'm not even gonna say. You see a bloody streak as the tentacle slowly pulls its way back, the arm leaving a squeegee line where the body was, as the Kraken turns its attention now. Let's see here. Who's the unlucky one? With a 1 on a coin flip, and the multi-attack penalty kicking in as well, you see the tentacle lash out, grabbing the would-be captain of the ship and ripping her clear away from the wheel. Though this takes the tentacle with it, and you see the pirate now quite thoroughly dead, as that tentacle rips the very life out of her before disappearing below the waves. Well, that's going to be it for the Kraken's turn. The ship, however, quickly spins out of control without anybody at the wheel. Devaxian's turn, and I'm going to need a reflex save. And a perception check. With a 17 on the reflex save, your character falls prone. The ship completely out of control as it spins round and round. And you have no idea what's going on. With a 12 on perception.
Okay, I'll stand and then move to here. Then I'll... which would that be? Guess I'll just run down the center of the ship, and then that'll be all 3 actions.
Alright. As the ship spins wildly out of control, the Vaxian runs towards the wheel, trying to do what they can. This poor pirate somehow got moved along with everything else. They're still standing at the front, so they get their reflex save. It's not going to end well for them, though, if they end up failing this one with the ship spinning and them standing at the bow. Let's see how you do, pirate buddy. My god, they rolled an 18. Look at that 26, beautifully done. They stand their ground. And they're going to, let me see, how much movement can we pull in one go? They're going to charge up on the Kraken. Crazy brave pirates, swinging with everything they've got. I'll take care of these 3 rolls. Swinging repeatedly at the behemoth of a monster that hangs on, they can't levy a meaningful shot. I say repeatedly, but it was one solid. I'll admit I clicked 3 times out of instinct, but that's going to be it for them. The pirates near the front, however, they're going to charge along as well, running past Devaxian as they break away from the Kraken. And believe it or not, the Kraken does not have the ability to do an attack of opportunity. That enemy moves and is able to grab onto the wheel with their remaining action, but they can't right the ship. They can only get close enough to make a difference next turn. Deacon's turn up. I'll need a reflex save from you as well.
Will do.
And a perception check. You are prone. as the ship spins and you fall.
Okay, I think I'm going to use a hero point to redo that.
Alright. You know the DC's at least 18, as a 17 was a fail. 19's a pass. You are still on your feet.
Yay. And perception, right?
Yep. And you know that DC on that reflex this time around, everybody, is 18 or 19. But you don't see... Okay. You are toe-to-toe with a kraken, which looms over the side of the vessel. A couple of its
Alright.
tendrils still gripping the back.
Now, quick question. You said the pirate that was manning the cannon got squished. Did the cannon get squished as well?
Nope, but it would take some time to reload that thing. Plus, you lack good gunpowder. However, the two cannons to the south, if you're thinking that plan, they were primed and ready for firing. Technically, 2 cannons have been fired so far. This bad boy, which started this whole mess, and the one directly beside you. But the other ones on this level have not yet been fired.
So, like, damn, trying to ping one. Is that one primed and ready, the one I just pinged?
Yep.
I think I'm going to go down to that cannon and try and blow away that goddamn kraken.
Now, it's going to take you 2 actions to do that, for priming and for firing, to get it going all in one go. But on the plus side, this is what I'm calling broadside of a barn rules. You are directly in front of said kraken. You can't miss. You don't have to pull a Mulan shot here. You're not trying to get some super firework avalanche going on. You just gotta fire. You get a freebie.
Yay!
And
Alright,
as you fire that shot,
Oh yeah, I'm going to fire that shot.
the echo rings out loud as you hear the kraken roar in pain. Eyes twisting and turning as a bloody gash flies across its front, before settling on your character now.
Do I have any actions left?
1 to move and 2 to do that. You are all out.
Alright, just go to panic.
Alrighty. As your turn's coming to an end, however, one of the pirate yells, "That's a good idea!" Even refers to you as a term for pirates who happen to be done there. Like, "That's a good idea, Junior, you know what you're doing." Apparently they forgot that you were an imposter. As they reach for the cannon as well, another shot ringing out, tearing through the kraken's health, causing it to definitely look injured, though only barely, as it fires off a shot and you can see its vision going between the 2 of you. You may yet stand a chance to not have to worry, especially when the 3rd pirate moves up and re-angles the barrel, firing off a shot as well into the kraken. All the cannonballs striking into the creature has definitely left it looking injured, but you're running out of ammo and it certainly has the health. Nestri's turn coming up next, and I'll need that reflex save from you. Actually, I gotta roll the reflex save as well for that pirate to make sure they can stay on their feet to actually do that cannon shot. I rolled a goddamn 19. The game has your back. I'm sorry. You're prone,
Yeah. And
Ships-
spell strike's gone.
and you will need to roll a perception check for me.
Okay.
Oh, 26. Well, when your character falls, maybe Nestri almost goes over the edge of the vessel. Maybe she just grabs onto the rigging at the last second, wipes the sweat from her brow as she maybe stands back up. But with a 26 on perception check, you notice something very, very important. Apparently, now you're on an airship. You, the Kraken, and the vessel are all floating some 10 feet, 15 feet above the water, not touching at all, no longer spinning around the drain.
Okay. Excuse me. I will share that information with the group. And for my first action, I will stand up. For my second action, I will stride 25 feet. And for my third action, I'm just gonna fire a regular arrow.
At the Kraken or at his tentacles holding onto the back?
I don't know if I can reach the tentacles at the back. Let me check the range again.
Yeah, about 60 feet, 50 feet.
I know, but I don't know what the range on my weapon is.
Oh,
off
I
the
don't
top
either.
Of my head.
I'm just letting you
Well,
know what you
that's-
gotta hit.
Close on
Yeah, thank you. I'm looking at it now. I see. It's not. I don't like Foundry's character sheet 'cause I don't see 60 feet. Okay.
They are a little wonky. I'm still trying to get used to them myself half the time. Oop, that tentacle's not on board. It
it's
took
okay.
someone.
Let's see if I don't know if I can get to a tentacle. These are the. Oh, I'm just within 60 feet. Okay.
Yep. "22" as you fire off your last arrow, rushing in, striking the hand of the Kraken, which roars out defiantly as it shifts back into the depths below. Anything else for Nestri's turn?
Everyone heard me say that I shared the information with the group.
Yep, that we're up high.
Yeah.
Now on an airship.
That's the end of my turn.
Phoenix's turn, and as we get to Phoenix's turn, give me a reflex save, as the entirety of the ship, the Kraken, and everything else is lurching towards that crack in the sky. Oh damn, look at you rolling high. Dan has no trouble. Phoenix standing on his feet like this ain't nothing for my people. The stealthy ones.
It's only the one hand and the Kraken himself, correct?
Exactly.
Well then, I don't want to get close to the hand because I've seen it grabbed at people. So I will make it 3 actions and increase the range of telekinetic projectile by 30 feet, so it goes 60 feet.
Ooh. Ba-bang.
I'll take a shot at the last hand.
Alright, let's give that a shot. As you fire off with a 14. Well, the tentacles were a bit harder to hit than the hands, so that does land as your attack strikes the broadside of the barn, as it were. Which is enough to cause the hand to break off its grip as well. And as it does so, everybody give me a reflex save.
Character sheet pop up, please.
Alright, so we have on those reflex saves a 25 and a 19, and a 23 and a 14 for Devaxian. So almost everyone aced those checks. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Dean, before I say the results, you doing anything?
I can try a reroll.
Alright. Nat 20. So, as that Kraken's hand is pulled free, as it comes loose, as the ship is released, it plummets from the sky like a rock, spinning as it does, flying, faltering, and the last things you see as you grab on with all you can for anything at all is the sand coming straight up at you, is the shoreline. You're meeting it in a very bad way, but that Kraken flies through the air, flipping over as its gargantuan body is sucked up by that crack, and one giant flash of light later. Well, your characters might be wondering what's happening next, as that ship comes down, as you successfully go through the side quest of breaking the tentacle's grasp, which was most assuredly a good option. Could you imagine if you got drug into the void with it? Well, I think this is a great spot for us to take a break. We can jump back in shortly, and you can find out what happened after the shipwreck on shore. So, where we left off before we took lunch. You were all falling in the sky on back of an airship that was never meant to be one, while the town itself had that nasty crack breaking up over the windmill that you all might remember from the middle of Greenwood. Now, I have us on the actual map just to show, but you know, in the end, just like the Lich's domain, the only thing left in a circle that might go beyond what you actually can see on the map is a crater having decimated the town entirely. You're all probably not too worried about that right now because, well, shipwrecked.
We don't get to keep the ship.
We can keep part of it.
Now, there's only one issue here, as you're all tumbling from the air, as the ship slams against the coastline, is broken asunder, and you're all tossed like ragdolls. You successfully passed your checks to hold on top. So it's not doubling up or going bad, but we need to see, between Phoenix and Devaxian, if either of you are unfortunate enough in the crash. So why don't you give me fort saves, and we'll find out whether or not you are dying. A 20 and a 16 on those two fort saves. You're both unconscious, but stable. Part of me wants to run with the joke and say Deacon's like buried up to his waist, you know, hammered down like a nail, but that's seems a little unrealistic. Now, the four of you were thrown and set asunder into the sand and have been severely injured, of course. And it's still 7:16 p.m. Let me double check that clock to make sure it's ticking. Are we still in combat as well? No, I turned that off. Clock doesn't start anymore, so I'm going to skip forward. The hour of time. And for once, I'm going to have you all roll fort saves, just to see who wakes up first. Or if the pirates wake up before you. 27 and a 25, Deacon and Nestry sharing the same level of fort save. A solid plus 10.
Is that, you want another one from me and Dan?
Yep.
Okay.
This is just to see what order you wake up in, more or less.
Right.
21. And 11. Dan's head first in the sand. So, Deacon would be first to awaken. As you're getting up, probably half covered in ocean water, half covered in sand, and dusting yourself off, Nestry would be getting up around the same point in time, glancing across this ruined, damaged ship, now nothing but broken, upon the shoreline. You'd also notice the pirates, a few of them starting to come to. One over here, who's simply sitting in the sand as they right themselves, seems to be bandaging their arm. But thankfully, a couple of you woke up before those pirates, as Devaxian is next to rise very quickly. And probably a good 2 minutes later, 3 minutes later, Dan Phoenix is last to wake up. Behind yourselves.
Do they have the same amount of HP that they did before?
Oh, we'll get to that. Don't worry.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Didn't give you any fall damage for a single reason. That's because I did say once you were done with all that janky stuff, you'd all be level 5. So you can feel free to get yourselves up to level 5. With the ship out the way. You finally get that level. Meanwhile, Jillian's probably thinking, we took down a Kraken. We should be at least level 9 with overflow EXP.
I said nothing. I said nothing.
I would argue that we survived a Kraken, not necessarily
Oh,
took
goodness.
down a Kraken.
Sometimes, when you have monsters who are unique, fun, and large, you can use them for a moment inside of the game. But there's one thing that Kraken truly underlines with its incredible challenge rating, is the growth in this game between your level and whatever the hell that thing's challenge rating was. You're all toppling it up to 5 now, but well, you saw it had a 50-something on the initiative roll. I got a 19 on its initiative roll, so you know. But still, 50-something? We didn't get anywhere close to that in 5th edition. In 5th edition, that scale was a little bit more narrow. You find an ancient dragon jumping in front of you, it's not as frightening. That thing? If I was to actually have that as a fight coming at you, I kinda did. Jameson almost bipped the bullet there. After all, your character shot it with a cannon. It got it mad at you at that point and say you're targeted now. But the other pirates did like you and followed suit. The team, however, you all are getting a hero point for today. Because, unknowingly, you did the smart thing and started swinging at those tentacles. Each one had a different armor class based on its size and status. And all you had to do was connect once for the tentacle to retract. And you started cleaving at those before going for the core of the monster itself, because the monster was being drugged into that warp portal of some form, that horrible crack in the sky, that tear in the fabric of reality. And it was taking the ship with it. Since you cut down the Kraken, well, you did so very close to the top. Very close, to the top of the water. Your ship wasn't that high up, so I really didn't have too much extra damage to give yous. The knockout is just because, you know, I can at least claim it for half a second that you were dazed, but very little time has truly passed. You all gain a level. You can apply all the goodies for having that level up, but you haven't got a rest yet. That isn't too far off, though, mind you. But you are officially level 5. But the town behind you is now but a memory. Nothing left behind but a large, dry crater. This small island in the middle of that town, which held the windmill, now but a memory, as water rushes in to fill it up. Now being nothing more than a large lake.
I was just going to say, I'm not exactly sure what I want to take for my ancestry feat. Is it alright if I just pick something for now and then maybe go back to it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Oh. Oh, was that you? Sandy's phone went off behind me, spooked the crap out of me. Someone's making Mountain Dew popcorn. That does not sound appetizing.
Ooh. That's definitely a decision.
So we should have 2 hero points now?
If
we haven't used one?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
They always expire at the end of the session and resets you to 1 for the next, so you know. Now, of course, there is the pirate ship, which has pirates actively moving across the top of it, except this one. Is that the captain that I copied? Nope, looks similar. I was going to say, there ain't no way. That captain was done. They were first to go.
So, we got skill increase, ability score boosts, and ancestry feat. So I picked for my second implement choice. I picked the chalice. So you can how do I share this? Sure. Ultimately, it's up to you, Alan. But the chalice can be a cup or a goblet. It could be a small amphora or polished gourd or a hollowed out skull.
Yep.
Given that we're on a I was kind of picturing something more akin to like a blood vial or like some kind of needle. Just because I like the idea of the vaccine running up to one of the party members and saying, "Trust me, this will help," and like jagging them with like a needle that he's found on the beach.
Turkey baser.
But yeah,
Sorry, my
So-
brain immediately thought turkey baser's like, open your mouth, splurt.
it works. But basically, this will let me, as an action, I can give someone temporary hit points equal to 2 plus half my level till the end of the next turn. So that's a sip action, or I can use the drain action. And if they drink deep, it heals the drinker 3 points for my level. So I guess that would be 15. And it
It's good
can't
for
be
healing,
drained
too.
again. Yeah. Until 10 minutes has passed.
Every 10 minutes you can gain 3 health for level, so 15 health every 10 minutes. Or, you know, in the run of an hour, 90 health for one person, easily.
And then if I make this better, if I choose it to be an adept with my chalice, then it would also recharge on a critical hit, I think. But
That thing gets a few
I-
benefits as it goes up. It's pretty nice.
yeah, but anyway, I thought that would help with our healing situation.
I can't find that elven weapon elegance
You,
on
I've
the-
noticed the foundry sheet. It doesn't include like your second ancestry, so you might need to add the tag search.
So Dean's character is getting a stim pack. He said he wanted to be like an injector. That's the first thing that came to mind for me. You still have to be able to drink. I'll let him know that when he comes back. Anyone else got any funky fun things they're doing for their level up?
I have to look into mine.
It's a bit of a process. Especially those magic ones.
Well, not only that, because I'm Kitsune, I can gain new forms, but I could also take Fey Influence, which will let me cast a heal spell once per day.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Extra healing is definitely handy.
Yay.
I'm surprised though, if I had one more turn, that Kraken would have hit Jameson and the other two, because all three hit the Kraken. So you know, healing's always good. Though given your health, your character might have been able to take one shot from that Kraken and survive.
Hooray. Yeah. And I already picked my feat. It's one I looked into a while ago. I essentially just upgraded Nanite Surge, so I can now apply it to saving throws as well.
Oh, nice. And Jillian, I can only imagine what sort of crazy stuff you get to add for your character.
No, we're trying to get it so I can add some stuff to my ranged attack, and we had plotted out a plan that I could do at level 5, but I'm not finding it in, like, Forge, and
Oh, they didn't change it with
It's
the
not
remaster,
even-
did they?
Well, that's what Dean's wondering, but also, like, it says prerequisite elven weapon familiarity. While you're attuned to the weapon of your elven ancestors, and are particularly deadly with using them whenever you critically hit using an elf weapon or one of the weapons listed in Elven Weapon Familiarity. You apply the weapon's critical specialization effect, but I just did that already.
On one source I can find, it's got in brackets legacy.
Hmm.
I don't know if there's a way to enable legacy feats on the Forge. If there should be.
Because with the mechanics now aside, the team laying in the sand as the ship lies broken around you. Looking over your shoulders, looking back on the town behind, you'd see nothing but the devastation left behind, as it is quite honestly little more than a crater behind you. What's the team thinking?
Oh, I can now.
Probably some thoughts mixed with, ow. In fact, what does it look like the pirates are doing?
At the moment, they're all slowly gathering themselves, looking around, seeing what's going on, as shell-shocked as the rest of you.
Maybe something's successful.
Does it look like that anybody escaped from the explosion or the crater that was the town?
The core of the town itself. More of an implosion, really, now that I stop to think about it. The core of the town itself appears to be absolutely devastated. There's nothing left. There may be some people, but that'd be a bit of a walk, especially for where your caravan was.
We should probably go and see if anyone made it. They might need a help.
Yeah, I imagine the pirates are probably going to leave us alone, considering we both helped each other out in that rough situation. I hope.
Oh,
I say as I'm getting completely surrounded.
It seems that way.
but I mean,
As you're saying, they should be fine. We all helped each other out, right? As he's looking around and you can see the pirates drawing in ever closer. Soon, almost having Jameson and the rest of you as well pretty much surrounded. But not in an antagonistic way. Not in the sort that you'd already be saying, we're rolling for initiative and kicking some butt with our level 5s before they get in close. No, none of that. Limping towards you, a look of fear, a look of worry in their eyes as they're looking towards their boat, then looking back towards the team. Just as distraught as anyone else.
be able to accept
One of them's gonna look you dead in the eyes. Right to Jameson on this one as they say softly, "What do we do now?
one sec.
The captain's gone."
Hear me now? Can you hear me? Oh, I haven't done anything.
My suggestion,
Okay.
run, because
Yeah.
people are going to look for someone to blame, and
Join the meeting with yours, click admit.
you were on the ship, so it might be a good idea to make yourself scarce.
They're giving a slow head nod to that one.
After you are
And you helped us out. I'm pretty sure we would all be dead if you didn't give us a hand, so we're not going to stop you, but someone will if you stick around.
And the pirates are gonna look towards you. One's gonna look back towards the shore. And you're gonna see a sort of distant look in their eyes for a minute before they look back at you and say, "Who?" I mean, at a glance, in their defense, you don't see anybody.
Yeah, well,
We beat the captain. Does that mean we're the captain now?
I think technically one of us would be captain. If it's that kind of ship.
One pirate, she's standing there just staring at it, glancing towards it. It looks to be the same person who was the pilot for a moment, the one who should have been slaughtered but managed to survive just barely on the hit that it took. She's seriously injured, badly wounded, and she looks back at the broken ship, looks towards you, and gives a snort of a laugh and says, "Hey, well, if you want to be captain to a dead ship, it's all yours."
Maybe it might be a better idea to see if they can come and help make amends for their
Oh, sorry.
attack. I guess technically only the captain fired a shot. Maybe there's some good could come of this. What do any of you know what the captain wanted? Talking about a gem?
One of the other pirates is going to give a nod, the one who still has the monkey on their shoulder. The monkey, however, very quiet, very tired, a bit worn, and he's putting a bandage over one side of the monkey's head. You're imagining after this point, that patch over the eye is going to be a bit realistic for the monkey. He nods at you and says, yeah. Yeah, we had a long-standing plan to take this town. We wanted to sneak in. There was important things there he wanted to steal. I'm not really sure what, but he sent his twin brother in some months ago. We faked a raid against the town, you see, to try and pull these people in. And with his brother there, we wanted him to become enraptured with the town, that they'd like him, that we could use that, sneak in under the cover of night, but then he decided the position was a little too cushiony. He liked the job he had gotten or something. I don't know why he would have gone against us. Don't know what reason he might have had, but then as the pirate looks over his shoulder back towards the crater that was there and then back to the team, don't know if I'm ever going to find out. As it would appear, the brother, the one who was pretending to be the mayor, the one who was killed, whose you found the remnants of, decided that he would make a life of it for himself like that, tried to turn his back on his fellow pirates. We all know how that leads. Pirates don't have much honor.
Okay, right. Oh, what a mess. So the captain killed his own brother.
And they give a nod of his head. Then he says, well, actually, and he points to another one of the pirates. Jessup did that one, to be precise. And they give a nod. They just go, while rubbing the beard.
Well, no honor among thieves, I suppose. Yeah. I suppose it doesn't really matter now. What he wanted. People are hurt. We should go. Help. The vaccine Piers, and like I guess the two halves of this ship is like. I wonder if there's anything left here that the town could use. The caravan.
Oh, there's probably some loot buried deep inside. You could probably easily take a look through. Might take some time, do a bit of digging.
I suppose we can always come back to it if the pirates don't clear it out. Yeah, I don't know. I think from what we know of the townspeople, Deacon is probably right that whoever's left will probably try and string up the pirates. If they go.
Could always use the excuse that they were there to fight that Kraken that showed up and were trying to defend the town.
Yeah.
Phoenix walking over. Like, I have idea.
You emailed the link.
That stray shot got away, and
Would you all be willing to help the town?
One pirate, she rubs her jaw slowly, says, I don't know. And you get the feeling it might be a check of a dice to see if you can convince them, either diplomatically or through means of intimidation, to work for a good cause.
So, and down.
I really do think it's the least you could all do, given that you're responsible for it. We won't tell them. We will tell them. We won't say anything, so they might not put you to death, but otherwise, you are in the middle of the wastelands. You're going to
Yep.
need people to survive.
Another pirate standing beside you immediately just speaks up, I didn't fire my cannon. They were the one that you actually convinced not to.
That's true. I saw that. So, good on you. You cut it close, though, waiting to the last second to not attack an innocent town full of people living their lives. I'm going to re-roll that.
All right. Because the talk was going bad until you recognized the one. Yes, you did do the right thing. Patting him on the shoulder. You know it's the right thing. And with a 30, your words touch deep in their soul, whatever they might have for being pirates. And they do agree they'll make an attempt to try to help these people. After all, the lie that Phoenix pulled up is pretty brilliant. It's like we were there to try to stop the Kraken and it went real bad, real quick. Yeah, that'll work.
He's saying, he's.
Right. Well, okay. Some of you gather salvageable supplies from the ship, and then the rest of you, yes, follow us and
Hi, Angelica.
start pulling people out of wreckage or helping
I
the
hung up
injured.
with you for a minute and
Since
I reckon it's more than a 10-minute walk away.
heading
I
over to
might
the
drink
town,
from my chalice.
that'll take some time. And by all means, you can have a few drinks. It's going to take you 10, 15, 20 minutes to walk over to there. You're at the edge, after all. You are in a comfy spot, don't get me wrong. As of right now, nothing's trying to kill you for the first time in a little bit. It's been a wild ride. But without shadow of doubt, it is a shipwreck.
In 10 minutes, I will offer a drink to Phoenix. Or a injection to Phoenix. However, I cannot. If you ask the question, what's in it? The vaccine will just look at you and go, I don't know.
Some good stuff.
It works.
okay.
Where'd my nice picture go?
Yeah, there has to be something that lets us control it, because this is very, very, very odd.
Dang, I cannot find the picture I had. It was a nice front view of this shipwreck. Matched the map and everything we were using, but...
Allows control.
Le poop. Well, you can get in 2 of those heals if you want to drop them both. 15 points
Right.
of healing for either of you.
For-
Then I'll apply that onto Phoenix to save a half a step, because I'm assuming, Dan, you've got no trouble accepting a little bit of healing from an ally.
That's the problem.
No issue.
Not
You take a quick swig, and you know what though?
But yeah,
And since we're leaning on the medicine side of things, is it healing like the stim pack I was joking with? I'm gonna have to say it has cherry flavor.
So long as it isn't grape flavored.
Oh, you're not a fan of grape flavor?
This will be controversial. I prefer grape to cherry.
Oh, totally. I'm a cherry. That's why I was surprised. Grape's usually the flavor when you get it that people don't like it.
Yeah, there's something about artificial cherry flavor that just rubs me the wrong way.
It's one of the absolute few Addison positively, absolutely despises. I gotten some because it was specific to have a few extras that would help her for what she was going through, and she was like, "No." So I give her the other stuff, and she's like, "Yum yum yum yum."
Seems she has good taste.
Yep. But grape flavor is 100% the way for her. So Jameson, hearing that you don't like it,
well, it wasn't an official
I get a little bit of a laugh on that. But to each their own, always. Grape is like the universal A-OK thing to use, though.
Oh no, I was just making a reference to DBZA abridged.
Oh. Yes, Goku's heart medicine. I forgot. That is a good one. 10 points. My god, flew right over my head, too. And everybody loves DBZ. DBZ best. Always gotta wait for
Oh,
the
yeah.
DBZ reference. Alright, so. it might
I
be-
don't think I can heighten the spells, but I'll use 3 actions and cast heal right where I stand.
Heal, heal, heal.
No, if I channel 3 actions into it, it deals 1d8 plus 8 to all creatures within 30 feet of me.
Alright, you go ahead and toss that up and see just what you do. Because the pirates, injured as well, are gonna be within that aura of your kindness.
How have you got? How did you get the heal spell?
Fey Ancestry. I chose Unicorn. By choosing the Unicorn, I gain a unicorn horn tattoo on my forehead, and in exchange, I can channel power through the horn tattoo and cast the heal spell.
Ah, this guy. Nice.
Cool. Let's. I didn't know that. You could do that.
It also gives me access to the primal spell list stuff. So if we get scrolls of primal spells, they count as on my spell list, so I can just cast them. So 11 points of healing to everyone within 30 feet of me.
Robin has
Nice, that's gonna be a
guaranteed
considerable
with
jump back.
Let's see. That would be 59. Oh, my hit point maximum is 68. It's one away from being nice.
Ah, found the picture.
Ooh.
A nice match for what you'd be seeing. Well, as you're all healing up, as you're gaining back some health, I'm not sure if I've applied that. So, oh yeah, Dean's got it on his, and looks like everyone else has got them back. I'm not sure if Deacon, if you did, because your character has a lot of health now. Jameson for Deacon. But everybody
I
else,
have
the
a
pirates.
decent amount.
Yeah, did you heal the 11 points I just gave you?
Just give me a second.
It's gonna max him back out if that's the case. You'll be nice and comfy. Even Nestri gets healing, but she's already in great shape. She's just jogging down the beach like, oh, this is easy now. Took the stitch right out the side, I'm good. Everyone else glaring like, hey.
No, listen, I don't get cocky in your games, Alan. Don't
That's
put
what-
words in my mouth.
That's why you're always my go-to for the cocky comments, because you never use them. The rest of the team would just be like, absolutely not. And let's be honest, there's no way you'd be running ahead. Not a chance. Not to make that as an insult. You'd be staying with the team in a strategic matter, being like, okay, I don't trust that we're not about to get jumped again here.
Can we just I'd just like to highlight the irony of my first diplomacy roll at expert level being a 2 and needing to re-roll it.
Right?
I feel like that was the university's way of telling me stop it.
Well, at the start of the session, you had all those high rolls, right? The game's like, make him use that hero point he just got.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm pretty excited though with have been able to heal someone though mid, like in a combat situation. I can do it once per combat, but
hey, 10 minutes isn't that long. In between combats, the healing from that.
yeah.
Mine is only once per day, though, so.
Yep. You get a small one. Fortunately, the day's almost over.
Still though, like if we're like surrounded in a fight and you can get all of us with that wave spell, I mean it's all free actions, but that could stop some of us from going down.
Yeah, I could pull some people back from death saves with that. It's a shame it takes all 3 actions, because I could widen spell and make it go 60 feet if it wasn't.
So, Dan, what you're saying is Phoenix has unlocked group hug?
Yes.
I've got it. If you get the haste or quickened condition, that'll give you an extra action, so you can then widen. And
I have the haste spell prepared.
Oh god.
well, there we go. I mean, it's a lot of setup, but a hasted wizard is no joke though, because most attack spells I think cost roughly 2 actions. So if you as long as there's no restrictions on the hasted action, you can cast.
There are restrictions.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
What are the restrictions? Is it? It doesn't.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it limits what you can do with it.
So, is it like striding and attack, like a strike action?
Yeah. Magic empowers the target to act faster against the quicken condition and can use the extra action each round only for strike and stride action.
Oh, damn it!
Good for the fighters.
Although,
but my attack spells, I have to look into it because my attack spells tell me to make a range spell attack. So does that count as a strike?
Does it say the strike action?
Yeah, strike and stride action.
I think if you.
That's a Google.
That's a good question. Like, if you cast a spell that asks you to make a strike, is that the strike action, or is casting a spell the action?
That's one for Google. We'll figure that one out. Well, while we got a few minutes left, let me know, or let me show you what you're seeing at the end here. Because as you all make it back to the town, or what's left of it, as you cross the beach with some pirates in tow, who honestly at this point look like little better than mercenaries, you'd find your caravan almost entirely untouched. After all, they were on the outskirts of the town. And as you walk up, you'd even have that portly merchant coming up towards the team with a nod of their head. They'd extend out the hand, rustling their mustaches they do, give a firm shake and say, didn't think you'd all make it out that mess, with the firm handshake again. Though they'd soon acknowledge, most of the townspeople did not make it out of there. Most of them still inside, staying in the gates, rushing and running as the Great Warp took them. As for the rest, as for the ones who are still there, they were able to survive, and a few of them even jumped on with the caravan, and now, well, so have the pirates. You've got a larger group now traveling with you all to the west. They lament for a moment, saying a boat might have shaved off some time on that trip, but hey, They're just happy at this point to get some basic supplies. The merchant himself even rubbing his hands together without too much concern for what was lost. Adding in, it's a good thing they kicked his son out the previous night. He might have been lost too. Doesn't look like the caravan took any hits whatsoever, but they've picked up some more hungry mouths to feed. And before you're thinking, damn, what's that going to cost us? Quite the opposite.
Okay, so
The pirates, they come along with gear and goods, as you've mentioned. They bring products and supplies, and most importantly, they give the party the remnants of their ill-gotten gains. 400 gold pieces in one pile they give to you, while the remaining goods, well, that joins up with the caravan and the people who were joining in. As now, you must continue on your journey to the west, this town, in the dust behind you and the wastelands ahead, as you make your way towards Blackrock. But this comes with a couple pluses. Since you worked hard to try to protect this village, since you worked to help them, and since you did all the good things even though the town wasn't the nicest, heck, you even went above and beyond and helped fix up that windmill before it got nuked.
so hopefully that just
On your travels now, you have full access to their wares, which means everything from the player's handbook, essentially. Anything that can be bought by standard coin is now at your disposal. You have traveling with you merchants and all of their wares. You've got a store on your back. So if you need anything bought or you want to spend money on anything or armor, equipment, weaponry, repair jobs, they can help with all of that.
ask her not to sign in until I send her a message, you know?
Nice.
But unfortunately, the town of Greenwood
Get the new invite?
is no longer on the map. I think as your characters are all starting to continue their journey towards the west, as Ulog shows up in the back of one as he's like, the guards took me out of town. They were going to take me down. They said it was time for the execution. But then that thing ripped open in the sky.
They should have miles.
They got sucked up. I almost got sucked up, but I'm a little heavy. I was able to hold on because you see all these muscles. They're so dense, right? Because he's Orc. I'm going with it. He just grabbed onto a tree and held on for dear life until it all passed over. So, John, if you're hearing this one, your character's A-okay, bud. His incredible strength, and I mean, I can't even remember if he's strength-based, but he's Orc, so I'm gonna say it, gave him enough that he could hold on to a tree while everything else was sucked up. So he's on the caravan with all of you. I mean, of course he is. It'd be no fun if he wasn't. But next week's game, you will all start the journey into the horrible wastes as you make one last push to make it towards the city of Blackrock, where hopefully all your hopes and dreams will come true. After all, couldn't be any worse than this, right? Well, I say that, but I'm the guy who gives you a Kraken attack in a boat and says it can't get worse, and then I make it worse. So, haha. I think that's a good spot. I'll stop the recording here for today with my little monologue outro.
So